Followed by Brian Smith.
Hi, Bill Cole and Andalusian, Mayor, City Council. As a resident of the Norco Ridge Specific Plan, I oppose the ordinance change for our area. I ask you to reject the Norco Ridge Ranch Specific Plan proposal because we already have a PACA and it would be an unnecessary and unfair burden on the property owners. The 376 signatures from the specific plan area on the petition speak loud and clear, and we are asking for a reasonable height, 20 feet in size, before a specific plan or CUP is required. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Brian Smith. Will be followed by Bill McNames.
Having fun? Okay. My concern is lack of specificity of what kind of building you can build, and the fact that you have to go before the planning commission to get a conditional use permit for anything over 860 square feet or so. Think about this for a minute. How about a 4-stall Mare Motel? Okay, how many square feet is that? It's a lot more than 800. You're going to have to go before the planning commission for that. Going before the planning commission is a bit like going before a homeowners association. You're begging to use your own property. Don't like that. If you would say you can have a 2,400 square foot building, 20 feet high, so much, so wide, so long, that's fine. I can go with that. I can understand that. You can read it and you say, okay, I can have that. But if you go before the planning commission and ask them, can I have it? You don't know if they're going to say yes or no. Next thing is I've got no problem setting aside a roof for the horses. Yeah, I can put 5,000 square feet away on my lot, and no problem with that whatsoever. I used to live in Norco Valley, and I watched what they did to a lot of their supposedly large animal keeping areas when they rezoned existence. I own a property out right now there that's grandfathered for animal keeping, and I sure didn't like that at all. So I really think it's important that we have a strong animal keeping part of our program in the city. If it means the PACA, that's fine, no problems. But let's get specific. Let's give people some knowledge about what they can do and what they can't do without having to argue with a planning commission or deal with a neighbor that doesn't like it and is making complaints and such. I think that's it. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Bill McNames. Followed by David Haggerty.
Council members, I was going to tell you a whole lot of my thoughts about here, specificity of the ordinance, but this Weber, I believe, was pretty well outlining what I had to say, so I'll keep this brief. First off, I wonder about the issue, number of signatures there, because the little green card I got didn't have any identification on it. Who said if there any organization that didn't have a PAC number on it, didn't belong to ID, didn't need a lot of codes and cards for that kind of notice. So I did go to the website, and I pulled up the website. It had no more information on it, so I did a search. Determined that domain ownership is blinded, so you can't find out who owns that either. So if everything was presented in the application the same way that I got the information, I'd take that with a quick grain of salt. Now, there's two things that are important in that ordinance that we haven't touched on. One is a factual basis for a legislative determination. top of the can, sorted out from under the can. But those are the factual basis for the legislative determination. I don't know how you come to the sizes you came to at the planning commission level, because they don't meet a 4-stall mare barn, or a single stall turnout, or any of the other kind of things where you got cover on it. Your definition of barn, is that pole barn, 4-sided barn, enclosed barn, solid barn, steel barn, concrete barn. There's 2 barn manufacturers up the road here, 15 miles. You have real handy help on that. But without a good factual basis for that, then there isn't any sufficient basis to support an ordinance. And the second point is, precision is the touchstone of regulation. Now, I know since 1929, what was it, Buford versus Amherst said you can go ahead and zone people's property. But you have to have a factual basis for supporting some kind of a state's interest in that, police power interest. And you have to have specific standards, so somebody who walks in and reads it can understand what it means, what they can do, and what they can't do. In 1996, we spent 3 years on an ad hoc committee on 6th Street trying to define the same kinds of problems. There was a lot of good information there. I think you ought to follow some of those guidelines about the specificity of an ordinance in order to have it uphold constitutional muster. And I'm sure that as soon as something's passed here, the unhappy ones are going to try it out outside in the court down the street. So again, specificity.
Thank you, sir. Followed by Bobby Pope.
What I want to say is, I am not a member of the Norco Horsemen's Association, and they don't speak for me, but, as a citizen, I would like to say that I'm opposed to this, because I think, however it was brought about, I guess it was brought about the planning commission. Supposedly they did a lot of work, so I think they should go back and do some more work. And, I think it's being rushed through. I think not a lot of people in town know exactly all the details of it. And, it should be delayed till some other time, so people have a better understanding of it.
You'll be followed by Bob Corvo.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. It's going to be a late night, I'm afraid. I won't keep you very, very long. Where I grew up wasn't considered a small town, but I do know that this town comes very close to a small town value. To me, it means living in a small town, we have the opportunity to invoke family, faith, and trust. We also have a great ability to have that small ranch or farm because our city is so different. We have the freedom to have farm animals, or plant a vegetable garden, or a sprawling lawn. So much of living today in what we call urban America, the hustle and bustle of business, concrete and buildings, and bringing up our kids in a video age with very little values. Street gangs, and high crime, for example, is just part of it. Norco is not urban America. You can still go down your neighborhood streets and get greeted by a familiar face, or see a horse with its owner enjoying an evening ride. Someone might be walking his or her dog. And in Norco, it also could be a camel, or a sheep, or a potbelly pig. Getting to ride and join up with another rider and follow miles of trails on our city streets or in the riverbed. Going into town and being recognized by a local business. Watching children grow up with values because they have the opportunity to raise animals and learn to care for themselves, for something other than themselves. This town is special. It is so special. We need to preserve it in every opportunity. There are those who purchased in this town and realize this is not the small town they want to be in. Well, this is America, and it gives you every opportunity to move. But we are also a society that needs rules and codes to follow, or there would be mayhem. City codes are a necessity that need to be enforced. So we will have neighborhoods without large buildings erected, or old junk cars in their back, or unkept manure on their lots. Codes need to be in place. We need the codes. We need the enforcement of the codes that we vote in. I think that is more of a problem than our codes itself. We need enforcement. Every city has codes, and as citizens of this town, I support the PACA and what it stands for. Now we need to work on the enforcement of the codes. Where I live, there are large outbuildings which house businesses, not RVs. They also so-called barns that are now inhabited by humans, not animals. They have satellite dishes on them. And they were supposedly erected as barns. I think enforcement is an issue of concern. Let's pass the new restrictions on size and height to prevent further abuse. Thank you for your time.
Mark Corvo, you'll be followed by Mike Harris.
Yes, my name is Bob Burbo, and I have llamas, so that was never mentioned yet. But I think this, you know, I hear some people say we haven't had this problem for a long time. We've had this problem for a long time. We should pass it now. This is the time. We just can't put it off and put it off and put it off. These other gentlemen were saying they have 360-some signatures that are loud and clear. I never heard a voice. I never saw nothing. We're all home watching TV and doing other things. Why didn't they come here to the meeting and express their views? Because we're adamant about what we want for the city. And, you know, it's the animal feeding problem for all animals. And Harvey says, no view lots in Norco. I don't know where he lives. But I bring people in from LA County, Riverside, San Diego County. The first thing, when we go walking the llamas, we walk all through town, and they're all saying, look at the view, look how beautiful it is. So every llama is a view. And then we start putting big buildings in the way, and we lose our view. I can see the mountains from my house. I see the mountains in the south. It's beautiful. And I love this town, and I want to keep it the way it is. And we hope you guys vote. Pass. Thank you.